It's podcadzo.
What a peaceful beginning to a podcast.
My little Zen ritual. Rearranging my items.
Got to put the computer here and the banana here.
This banana that I may or may not eat later.
We'll see. I'd love to watch you eat that banana.
I will eat it later then.
Okay.
On the pod.
On the pod.
And what a pod it will be. Welcome back to Podcadzo.
One for the history books.
The official companion podcast to the well-known indie rock band Cadzo. Man, I felt unrehearsed saying that.
I know everyone's probably thinking like you guys promised that you were going to get back on a regular routine and drop episodes weekly, and then
Hey,
we got a couple weeks in and then we missed a week.
We didn't miss a week.
Did we not? Even with taking a week off, we're not going to miss a week?
Mm-mm.
Well, never mind. Forget I said anything.
We're riding the razor's edge for sure. We have 0 episodes banked now.
We have nothing in the bank.
So we have to keep recording to keep up. Probably have to double up one of
We
these
should
weeks
double
just to
up
give
soon.
us a little safety net.
Yeah.
But we've been staying on our goal, 1 per week.
All right. Well, sorry, I doubted us. I don't know why I thought we were going to miss a week there.
No worries. Yeah, we have one.
Forgot
in the
about the good old bank.
Yep. Can always go into that bank.
Can always get into the bank.
But the reservoir is done, dried up.
Yeah, it's true.
So
We cleaned out the well.
Julian, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, actually. You know, all things considered, it could be a lot worse. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
There's been a lot of changes in my life lately. One big change, really. That's it.
Yeah.
And
wanna-
let's just get right into
Should
it.
we just get right into it?
Guys, I got married.
We need like a million air horns there
Yeah.
and like audience clapping and stuff.
For faithful Podcadzo listeners, that's not a surprise because we've been talking about the wedding
We've been alluding to the
for
wedding.
episodes leading up to the wedding, and yeah, we've been alluding to it, making mentions of it, but it's finally happened. At the point of recording, it was a week and a half ago.
Does it feel like it's been longer than that or less
It
than that? to you?
feels like it's been longer than that.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
In a good way?
Yeah, in a good way, for sure.
For me, it feels like at your wedding and all the festivities, it felt like I wasn't going to see you for a long time. But then I like blinked and it's already today. So
Everyone said, they're like, cherish it as much as possible. Everything's going to fly by. It's going to be crazy. And that's exactly what happened. It flew by.
yeah.
But
But it also feels
that's a
like
good
it's
thing.
been. It also feels like it's been a good chunk of time from then to now.
yes. I'm like thinking that the wedding was only a week and a half ago. It's weird because it does feel like a lot of time has passed
Yeah.
since then. But at the same time, yeah, that time has gone by very quickly.
Well, how much of this do we want to get into, really?
Well, we don't need to bore the audience with the gritty details of the wedding. We'll
Okay.
talk about the pertinent podcadzo points of it. And it was a absolute podcadzo celebrity festival
Yes.
of appearances. We had Connor Sanders. We had Chief OG. We had Riley Neal, who was recently on the podcast. We had Dan Trout, who was on the podcast once before. We had Zoe. Dave Matthews Zoe.
Dave Matthews Zoe.
We had Benson.
Benson, of course.
And most importantly, we had the two of us.
Yes. The anchors of podcasts.
Yeah.
Really the reason why the wedding
Your humble
happened.
co-hosts.
From the outside, I just want to say it was a beautiful wedding. The party itself was beautiful. Sounds like the actual wedding itself went pretty beautifully as well.
Yeah.
Nothing went wrong.
So we did a private ceremony sort of with just immediate family. Benson was at the private ceremony because he was employed to play piano during the ceremony, which was awesome. He killed it. It was very nice to have him there.
Can't really think of anyone else you would want to ask.
I know. And then, so that was mostly just immediate family. It's probably 20 people at the ceremony. And then we invited everyone else for the reception, which was the party. But we still wanted to keep that pretty small, so it wasn't too large.
No, it was the perfect amount of people. I think it was big enough to like remind you, like, oh my god, I have a lot of people in my life that like me and care about me, and then not so big that you like couldn't interact with certain people. Like you were making a good effort to make the rounds and like talk to everybody, and it actually seemed possible.
Yeah, it was possible. I'm glad that I got FaceTime in with everybody. There were like the day after I was like, oh man, I like barely talked to this person. They like traveled for the wedding. But
you have to expect
you're gonna
that.
yeah.
You got to do what
exactly.
you want on your wedding day too. A humble brag, we hung out on your wedding night a lot more than I thought we would.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, after a certain point I was like, all right, it's time for the bros.
Time for the boys.
And speaking of the boys, we weren't going to let a momentous occasion with so many podcadzo rocks there pass without doing something podcadzo related.
Yes.
So for the first time ever in podcadzo history, we did a podcadzo field report.
Yep. We got to do these more, honestly.
We do have to do these more. It was really fun. So there was a moment in the wedding where we were all together. This was still pretty early on in the night.
Yeah.
And
this was right before the speeches,
That's
which
right,
were,
that's right.
in my opinion, the pinnacle of the whole night was Cam's speech.
Yeah. My brother's speech.
It was cool that we had this like goofy little lighthearted moment, and then immediately after that, like less than 5 minutes after that, everyone was crying.
Yeah. I was on my way to the tent for the speeches, and then as I was walking to the tent, I see Connor, Quincy, Riley, Julian all assembled right there.
Yep.
And, naturally I'm going to stop and say, what's up, boys? And I think it was Connor's idea. He was like, oh, do you remember you talking you two to me when they go to the White House and they do the White House field report? He's like, we should do a podcast field report. We're like, that is an excellent idea.
It's a great idea.
So without further ado, this is said field report.
And it must be noted.
More ado, I guess. One more ado.
Well, yeah. So it's not like we didn't really have control over where this one went. I guess I'll just leave it at that. It gets a little bit messy at the
drinks
end.
were flowing. There was a lot going on, and we just huddled around Julian's iPhone.
All right.
So enjoy.
Here we go.
Welcome to a podcadzo mini episode. We're in the field right now. We're at my wedding. I'm here with my co-host Julian.
Hello.
And we're here with certified podcadzo alumni Connor Sanders.
So happy to be here. Such a gorgeous wedding. Congratulations to Colin and the bride. On other notes, been going pretty deep on Octoon Baby lately. Really rediscovering that album and loving it, and then also reaffirming my love for All You Love You Can't Leave Behind. So
All That You Can't Leave
All
Behind.
That You Can't Leave Behind. Another fantastic album. Those are my updates. Also, beautiful ceremony, and congratulations to the bride and groom.
I'm not the bride. It's hard to believe. I know.
And we also are here with other certified podcadzo alumni, Chief OG, a.k.a. Quincy.
What's up? It's your boy Chief OG in the cut. I just want to say congratulations to the bride and groom, Colin and Julia. This is an amazing ceremony. I'm having the time of my life. I'm like 3 drinks in. It's great.
We out in the field.
Yeah, this is just a field report.
I'm also only 3 drinks in, just 3.
We're I've probably had 2.5 beers so far. I'm not allowed to really go crazy until the sun sets.
That's kind of what you
together
want.
until then.
Yeah.
I'm excited for after the speeches. We're going to start the official wedding playlist. There's been a lot of collaboration on that. A lot of U2 is featured on the wedding playlist.
I already heard one U2 song.
Yeah, was it one?
No, it was. I think it was Walk On. Hey.
Oh, Jamie's getting on the pod now too.
That walk on was in the dinner playlist.
We're doing an impromptu podcadzo episode.
Yeah, say hello.
Hello. My son got married today.
This is getting even better. Sweet, because my we mom have has other officially been certified on the pod. podcasts. Riley Neal, a.k.a. Real.
He's currently giving Connor Sanders a hug. So. Yeah, Riley was. I think that's a good place to end this. Okay. Field report out. Much love. Colin's
We
wedding
have to end this.
2025.
Speeches are beginning, so I have to sit down.
Congratulations to the beautiful bride and the beautiful groom. I'm gay. Here we go. So yeah, I think it's a good encapsulation of kind of the moment. There's a lot of joy, obviously, but there's also, it's a wedding. There's a lot of different things going on.
Yeah.
You got to talk to the boys. Obviously, your mom is on fucking cloud 9, so she's just kind of, she wants to be everywhere where you're at. Your dad was funny. During Cam's speech, I was standing right by your parents, and at one point, your dad looked at me, and I looked at your dad, and we were both just kind of crying. Yeah, it was a beautiful moment. So yeah, I guess right after that moment happens, the speeches happen, and the speeches were both really good. Cam's was very beautiful, very mature, very insightful, I think. And that had to have probably been my favorite moment of the night, other than obviously just dancing on the dance floor, being stupid. What were the moments of your night? Can you rank them? Have you been able to process it yet? It was so much, I'm sure, for you to process and think about that it's still probably happening to some degree.
definitely still processing. I keep each day I feel like I'm remembering a new conversation that I had. So difficult to rank it. It was all just everything went exactly how I wanted it to. It was so perfect. The ceremony itself, well, okay, so Julia and I, we're not really ones for public displays of affection or being too sentimental in public. So we felt weird about reading vows, even in front of that small group of people we had for the ceremony. So we decided that instead of reading our vows during the ceremony itself, we were going to go for a little hike in the morning and read each other our vows on the hike. That's up there for highlights because it was just so beautiful that morning. The weather was perfect. We went on a trail that was almost empty, even though it's always super busy. Walked off into this pretty little gulch and read the vows. That was really nice. The ceremony itself, we did very little planning for the ceremony. The whole wedding was kind of informal. We didn't have okay, at this time, I'm going to walk down the aisle and then flower girls. And then it was all just kind of oh, we have everyone here. It's it will all just work out the way it's supposed to. It seemed like we planned out every minute of the ceremony, how perfectly it went.
Man, that's beautiful.
Yeah, everything just fell into place. So the ceremony itself was beautiful. Cam's speech, absolutely. And shout out to Denise too. Julia's sister, because she also gave a beautiful speech.
They were both really good. They were just they took very opposite approaches. Denise's was, keeping it lighthearted, keeping it fun, about celebrating, and Cam's was very much about celebrating too, but it was also just about
he turned on a dime and just
being really
got
cheesy.
Really sentimental.
Yeah.
And made probably 99% of people cry in the audience, which yeah, I told him after, dude, that was literally the best wedding speech I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
It was really good.
So Cam's speech was great. Someone, I know who it is now, but at the night, I didn't know who did this. Someone requested Larimer Street.
Who was it?
Natalie.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. You would recognize Natalie.
Okay. Sorry, Natalie.
I don't think she
I'm
listens
bad
to
with
the
names.
pod. I don't think you're fine. So the playlist, this was maybe an hour into the party actually going on.
People had been dancing for a good bit.
People dancing. The party was at full throttle at this point.
Full throttle.
There's several bangers in the
shots
playlist.
deep.
And then a little pause in the playlist for a second. And what did we hear? The opening lines to Larimer Street.
And it was I remember looking at you and you looked at me and we were both just what the fuck?
Yeah.
I thought we were about to change it. I thought it was just going to be we shouldn't do this, and then just skip it to the next song, an actual party song. Then everybody started dancing.
Yeah.
And then I look around and everyone's singing the words to the
Yeah,
fucking.
it was
I was
crazy.
what? That had to have probably been. I mean, it was in my top 5 moments for sure. Because, to have that happen on your wedding night, with everybody there, it was really special.
It was special.
You could never recreate that feeling if you tried.
No, definitely not. And yeah, you, me, and Benson all got together, danced together to Larimer Street. It was just pure joy. And I was proud of us that Larimer Street sounded good compared to the other bangers. It sounded on par.
Yeah.
through like a nice PA system, which, you know, is a good test of a mix.
And I mean, it's really not a party song by
It's
any
not,
means,
but
but
people were
everyone was
dancing
having
to
a
it.
great time.
Yeah, well, people were able to dance to it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we were dancing. Everyone else was dancing.
Yeah.
It was
It was nice.
Yeah.
And I got a couple people afterwards being like, that was your song? That's good. Fine, well, thank you. Yeah, it was fun.
yeah.
So the Larimer Street was a nice moment. And
Dancing with
then-
Sandman to Beautiful Day was
yeah,
really
that's
fun.
what I was going to bring up next. I was walking away because I had, you know, I was making the rounds. Beautiful Day came on, right? And
Yeah,
I missed it.
Me and Sandman danced to the whole thing without you once.
And then you guys saw me.
Yeah, we met up in the basement, I think.
Oh, that's right. That's what happened. We were talking in the basement. I was like, let's go do a Beautiful Day because I found out it happened without me.
I was like, you missed Beautiful Day. And you were like, fuck no, I didn't. We're going to go play it again right now.
Yeah. And then so, we all got to dance to Beautiful Day together. That was beautiful. That was a quintessential podcadzo moment. The other quintessential podcadzo
It was
moment
a
was
quintessential life moment for me.
for sure.
You know, not to sound like cheesy or dumb, but like dancing with you and Sandman to Beautiful Day is like something that I will remember when I
Yeah.
have dementia. Like I will look back on it for the rest of my life and like
Yeah.
always feel really warm and happy about that.
Any other memory I have of that song has now been usurped by that. That's
100%.
what I will think of when I hear Beautiful Day for sure. Oh man, it was so great. We did so after the dancing ended, we got in a noise complaint.
Which we
is-
got the noise complaint an hour before quiet hour.
Yeah, and it's
full
bullshit.
hour before
'Cause
quiet hour
without
even
revealing
started.
too much about the venue, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And supposedly where the noise complaint came from is like the furthest house from
where it
was, where like they could feasibly hear the music.
And there was no one out. Like it wasn't like people. No one came up and was like, "Can you guys quiet down?" And no one was like visibly upset by anything.
No, and that's the one night a year that's such a quiet neighborhood. One night in the last 5 years
And
has
for
music
a
been
damn
played a
good
little
reason.
bit loudly past sunset.
You only get like one. In an ideal world, you only get one wedding. You know, like you only get to do that shit fucking once.
That was I feel proud of how well I kept it together all night in terms of the drinking. That was the one moment where I was like a little bit tipsy and the noise complaint came in. So I remember giving a pretty impassioned speech.
Robert got the shout out to Robert for filming and shooting your
did
whole
he
wedding.
get-
He got your entire speech, he said, and it's over 2 minutes long.
Oh no. Oh dude. I thought it was like 15
We'll have
seconds
to see if
max.
maybe he can find it for us after
Oh,
this.
I'm not looking forward to listening
It
to
was
that actually.
fucking funny. It was
Okay,
really
if it
funny.
was funny.
It was really funny.
It was like I was trying to be funny and lighthearted, but I was a little bit bothered too. It was like how much setup went into this shit, and you can't just let us listen to music for one more hour.
Yeah.
I was a little bit upset,
It's definitely upsetting.
but whatever. So we successfully pivoted from that point. And
the
then
party going.
Kept the party going. We moved it to the fire pit and had a little impromptu acoustic jam, which was
Not before we had a full electric
jam, yeah,
upstairs,
in the stew,
which was really fun. Also, it got a little bit away from us, I would say,
yes,
but it was
because
fun.
I was still a bit tipsy then. I was playing a little bit
I would say you were
sloppily.
maybe a little bit further away than tipsy. You might have been drunk at that
Yeah,
point.
I was drunk at that point.
But we were all drunk. But no, some of us were more drunk than others. Me and you went up there to show Benson the place, and Sandman, I think too.
Yeah,
Sandman wanted to see
it
it.
was Sandman.
And then next thing you know, there's like 5 dudes up there, and they're all trying to play a different song at the same time.
Yeah.
And, I have a video. I probably will never actually show anyone the video because it's really embarrassing, but it's a video of you, me, and Sandman all singing Sunday Bloody Sunday.
You have
but
to
it's
show me.
So
Is it
sloppy.
from upstairs? Okay,
It's so sloppy.
because we did another Sunday Bloody Sunday acoustically by the fire.
Yeah.
that one went a little bit better.
A little better,
probably.
yeah. We were a bit more together. Well, most of us
We
were.
were still pretty sloppy. It was definitely a drunken acoustic jam.
Yeah,
which-
it was what you needed though.
Yeah,
at that point
it
in the
was
night,
great,
It was-
definitely.
yeah.
And yeah, and then the night ended.
People camped out.
People camped out. It was great. And then we did more festivities the next day. We just did like a brunch and stuff. I'm only bringing this up because Sandman was at the brunch and we were like playing music quietly over the brunch, and Connor was like, what if we just played the first 6 songs of All That You Can't Leave Behind? I was like, that's perfect for this one. So we did half of All That You Can't Leave Behind.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
And then he switched it to a Belle and Sebastian playlist, which was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some lake action, and then we got slightly rained out, but the lake was really fun too.
The lake was great. Yeah. There was a kickball game as well, which you weren't present for, but
No, I overslept a little bit. Kind of missed the kickball game.
The kickball game was a highlight as well for me. It's up there. That was really fun.
It looked like everyone was real hot and sweaty afterwards.
Oh,
People
yeah.
were
It was a
putting
nice
in-
hot sweat.
People were putting in the fucking work on that kickball game.
Yeah, Connor played half of it in a suit.
I guess it's kind of worth mentioning Sandman wasn't even supposed to be there, but we convinced him
Yeah, we
to
convinced
stay.
him to stay into the night.
He was
going
to leave, just for the record, he was about to leave well before any of the good shit had even really started.
Yeah.
And that would have been so sad if he missed all the dancing, all the shots, all the fucking marijuana that we didn't smoke. Because we don't smoke
we
marijuana.
don't do that sort of stuff. I actually didn't that night.
That's impressive. Yeah. I smoked so much weed on your wedding night with so many people that I just didn't even really know. It was awesome. I also smoked a lot of weed with Joe, which was fun. It was like a good throwback to old times.
Yeah. Oh, when we were naming podcadzo guests, completely forgot
about Joe.
Because
Yeah.
Joe has made a small appearance.
He did make
He'll
an
definitely
appearance.
make a bigger appearance one day on the pod.
Yeah. Shout out to Joe.
That's about all the wedding recap I wanted to do. I did want to briefly talk about the playlist. It was a pretty good playlist.
I will say people tried to fuck with it too much.
Yeah, it fell apart at the end of the night because people were making requests.
People were just taking over the fucking computer and just playing whatever they wanted.
We got off the playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we would have just left it on the playlist, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, because there were a lot of bangers on the playlist that
Mm-hmm.
we didn't even get to, songs that I were looking forward to. And we would have had time to get back to the playlist, but in the middle of that confusion of everyone requesting songs and taking over the computer is when we got the noise complaint. So that was the worst part of the night, is like, I feel like the dancing didn't come to a good conclusion.
But, I mean, I don't know. It was almost to the point where like people had been dancing for so long that they were maybe starting to want to move on to something else.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt like a somewhat natural conclusion.
I just wish we had a
good final
song.
Yeah, that would have been good.
I wanted to play Don't Look Back in Anger.
Oh man, that would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
Benson was fucking busting a move on the dance floor that night. I have a couple videos of him dancing. He was going stupid. Like,
That's awesome.
I didn't realize he was such an amazing dancer. I saw him dance at his wedding, but he wasn't letting loose like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was busting moves out on the dance floor that night.
I'm not a gifted dancer. I basically just know how to move my limbs awkwardly, very angularly, I would say.
I think, genuinely, this is not a lie. Your wedding is the first time I've ever like danced on a dance floor in front of people.
Yeah. Well, you did wonderfully.
With no reserves, like
Yeah.
no fear of judgment or anything. I've always been so terrified of dancing because it's always like, I just look dumb. Everyone's going to look at me and be like, that dude looks dumb. But no one
Everyone's
actually...
fine but that guy.
Yeah, I don't know why I have that level of fear when it comes to dancing, but that was the first time I've let
totally
loose,
natural.
and it was really fun.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it was great. I wish I could relive it, but also, don't be sad it's over. Be glad it happened.
It'll be,
And that's how I feel.
it'll be very well documented. Like
Definitely.
when
I'm
all the
ready to
footage
get the
comes
photos
through,
and-
it'll be. I mean, it's gonna take a fat minute for all the photos to come through because there's
Yeah. Oh, and
lot of 'em,
dude,
but-
another shout out Robert, who's a podcadzo guest, of course.
I guess technically, yeah, he's been on.
Yeah, he was on, and he photographed the whole thing. So if you're in the northern Colorado area,
Well,
and you,
No, he doesn't want business.
he does. Oh, okay, never mind. Do not
I don't
contact
necessarily
Robert.
want to speak for him, but he did say that the wedding photography thing is only for friends,
okay.
and close
Well,
acquaintances
I'm
and
honored
stuff
then.
like that. Yeah,
Well,
it's hard. It's really hard
sucks
work.
for you guys because he did a wonderful job.
Yeah, he did a great job, and he definitely put in a lot more work than most wedding photographers, even professional ones would, I would say.
Definitely.
And yeah, he's editing the photos in between going to school full time, working part time, and making an album. So
Yeah.
he's
That
definitely putting in the
dude's-
fucking
he's
work.
grinding
Yeah.
for sure. Big shouts out to Robert. And listen to Foreign Words. of
Yeah,
course.
go check out my band Foreign Words, please. We have a really good song on Spotify that started out having good traction, and then it immediately dropped off because we don't have friends, we don't have connections, we don't have a social media presence really. But yeah, go check out Foreign Words. It's good shit.
Ain't that how it goes, brother?
Yep, unfortunately.
Spotify is too busy pushing AI bands.
Mm-hmm. Should we transition away
Yeah,
from
so
the
I
wedding?
think that's all I wanted to say about the wedding. Thanks for listening to our wedding recap.
Oh, I did want to say one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if this is remembered. Well, it was when things were a little, well, for me, I started drinking early because I had to quit drinking so I could drive home. But I was a little bit loosey-goosey at this time. But Julia, when I forget what was happening, I was like just walking around and I heard my name and I like turned around and it was you and Julia. And we wound up like walking up to the driveway together to get some waters.
Uh-huh.
And Julia said some of the most amazing things to me that
I remember that.
and I mean, not to get overly sentimental on the podcast, but like sometimes, and this is just a me thing, like a way that I perceive my own self within my relationships with people. But sometimes it feels like I can't tell if the relationships are as important in real life as they feel to me.
Yeah.
But that moment really solidified that like we're friends and that like we
yeah,
matter to each other. And it was that was probably my actual favorite moment of the whole night, and it
Yeah.
came from your wife, which I wasn't expecting. So
Yeah.
that was
No,
a true highlight for me. And yeah, I love you. The wedding was absolutely beautiful and yeah, like literally perfect in every way. And I will remember it and think about it often for like years to come.
well, thanks,
It was
brother.
a true highlight. So
Love you too, man.
yeah,
Honored to have you there.
yeah, it
It was
was
a beautiful night.
not a thing I would miss for the world.
Yeah. Okay, now
Let's talk about AI.
AI, then you2, then rap. So what did you? I have a suspicion that we maybe want to bring up the same AI subject.
Yeah, you mention it first.
The Velvet Sundown.
Yep.
Which okay, I'm gonna cut this part out.
No one's gonna understand that.
No.
No, it's crazy. Okay, so I wouldn't call it a fight. Call it a spirited debate. I was in a spirited debate with Will Brock a couple weeks ago because he doesn't really spend that much time on the internet. He has like no social media. He doesn't do any of the meme bullshit really anymore. So he's just not really, I guess, as aware of how good AI has gotten. And the argument that I always take is that it's going to get to a point where people can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not. And furthermore, people won't care. And, you know, Will's kind of takeaway from the whole thing is like, well, people will always care. You know, people will always be able to tell the difference between real shit and fake shit. People will always care about real shit over fake shit. And like less than a week after we got in that spirited debate, this Velvet Daydream bullshit happens. What is it? Velvet
Sundown.
Underground? Velvet Sundown.
Yeah.
There's so many bands that have Velvet in the fucking name.
The Velveteer Sundowns.
The Velveteer Sundown Daydreams. No, but anyway,
Revolver.
that Rubber Soul. Final answer. Yeah, that whole thing came into the news and people were debating about whether they were real or not for days. And
Which is funny there was any debate.
No,
about
it literally
the
is obviously
very
AI.
fake.
But also the whatever band, they were pushing back for a few days and being like, we're not AI. This is a real thing. But like, yeah, eventually they'd have to admit like, oh yeah, we're not a real band. But like, that's exactly what I've been afraid of the whole time.
Yeah.
And this is when AI still kind of sucks. Like, you can listen to their shit and tell that it's kind of AI generated. Look at the pictures, look at the album art, whatever. It's all AI, and it's easy to tell. But give that shit another 6 months, give that shit another year. I mean, it's going to be even harder for people to tell, and they're going to be even further removed from their ability to give a fuck about it, because, like, it's already been happening, and people can only like look into whether something's real or not so many times before they're just like, I don't even care if it's real or not. If I like it, I like it. So
We are mere months away potentially from AI creating a legitimate hit that people listen to. So right now, like listening to the Velvet Sundown critically, it just becomes a little bit unbearable and super boring. Like this is just the most banal like background music you could imagine that vaguely sounds like the 70s, like just pulls in enough of those pastiches to be passable as like a 70s throwback rock song. But yeah, I do think we're probably close to AI creating a super hit. And it's possible that it will be a legitimately good song, and it's possible that it will just be a catchy song, and the novelty of it will be what people are attracted to and what makes it a real hit. But either way, it's a bit scary.
yeah, it almost doesn't even matter if it's good or not at that point. It just matters if people latch onto it for like the like shock and awe factor of, oh, this is AI, or if they take the hardline stance of, oh, I don't want AI like interfering with my art and the way that I process my art. The thing that's scary about I'm gonna get it wrong again, the Velvet Sundown.
Yeah.
The thing that's scary about them for me is, they put out 2 records in 2 weeks and had 500,000 monthly listeners in less than that period of time. Like they went from having 100,000 to 300,000 to 500,000 monthly listeners.
But that's just people going to be like, I got to check it out.
But it doesn't matter.
Song,
those are still all streams and listens being taken away from real artists.
Yeah, no, totally.
And at the end of the day, that fucking sucks. Like, we are in a band that puts like essentially all of our free time and extra resources into making shit to put out for people to hear. And it's hard enough to compete with all of the other real artists that are out there, let alone the AI artists who can come in and make stuff with essentially no resources, no overhead, and make it at a way faster rate and put it out at a way faster rate to where real musicians won't even have a chance at keeping up with it. And it won't matter, again, if it's quality or not, because the amount of people that will be listening to it on a regular basis will feed into the whole Spotify algorithm, boosting those AI artists even more and promoting them. And obviously Spotify will be hyped about it too, because you don't have to pay AI entities, and those streams don't necessarily have to be categorized the same way. I'm sure they'll find a way to rewrite the rules there and make AI streams not count as real streams, and then Spotify makes even more money and gives even less back to real artists. And it's just that slippery slope that we've kind of been coming back around to, of like, once it gets out of control, we don't get it back in control. It's away from us, and we just have to live with the consequences of our actions at that point.
I think a lot of people are suspecting that Spotify even has something to do with the Velvet Sundown now.
Why wouldn't they? They're testing the waters,
Even if they don't, this is the best case scenario for them, because let's be honest, like a large percentage of Spotify listeners are just people who want music on in the background, and that's what AI can do very well. Spotify realizes, we can just funnel ad revenue back into our own pockets by making the AI music with zero overhead. And having people listen to that, shoving that down everyone's throats on our editorial playlists and everything, then it's all gravy, baby.
Yeah.
Spotify's already been cooked. I encourage you to not use Spotify if possible.
Yeah. I was actually just having this conversation with someone the other day about, I sent them a song, and they were like, wow, I can't believe you're not on Spotify. And I was like, fuck Spotify. Like, why the fuck would I prefer one over the other when they do essentially the same thing, but one is 60% AI driven and one is not? Like, as an artist especially, like, and not to even say that it only matters if you are an artist, but it just feels extra dangerous if you are an artist, because it's like, we have no way of even knowing if we can keep up with this or not. Like, it's also new, and it's also kind of already being backed by the larger entities that run the music business that, we don't know what it's gonna take away from artists yet, but it's definitely not gonna be good. And like I take a lot of umbrage with people who say like it doesn't matter if it's AI or not as long as it's good, because you know, even if you think that your job can't be replaced by AI, I say fucking watch it happen. Like in X amount of time, everything will be able to be replaced by AI. And if it's not affecting you now, it's going to affect you in the future. And that whole argument of like, oh, I don't care about it now because it doesn't affect me personally is just stupid. And everyone should care about it, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I watched Fantano's video on the Velvet Sundown, and then also Rick Beato's.
Yep.
And man, shouts out to Rick Beato.
I liked the Rick Beato one.
Rick Beato, he's really been changing my mind about him lately. I'm a fuck Rick Beato for sure, but I'm a Rick Beato fan also. I love that guy's content.
Yeah, I think we've said this before, but if you are in any sort of commentary business, you're never going to win 100% of the takes. Like, someone's always going to disagree with at least one of your takes. I find myself still disagreeing with a lot of Rick Beato's takes, but they're all like the stupid ones, like all of the just him thinking certain things are better and me thinking other things are better. But like when it comes down to the actual brass tacks of the music industry and the inner workings of the music business and also the threats that AI poses to all of that, Rick Beato's on the fucking money. Like, and so is Fantano. The Fantano video is great too. It was a bit short, but
Beato's were short too, and I do.
All of Beato's videos are short.
Yeah, that's true. His commentary was good. I do think the way he went about like breaking down the tracks, with
how he got the stem player thing.
I thought that was a little bit half-assed and unscientific, ascientific.
But he did have a point there too.
No, I got what he was going for, but like I just feel like it wasn't the most effective way to do it. But yeah, I think it was a cool way to try to tackle it. For those who didn't watch it, he took classic songs, like he took a Led Zeppelin song, and Logic, which is a music software tool, has a way to analyze songs, and then it will shoot out individual stems of the individual instruments. So it'll give you an individual drum track, individual guitar track, vocal track, and then others like synth and stuff. And his theory or his hypothesis was that it wouldn't be able to do it with an AI track because there'd be too many artifacts because it's not real instruments and all this other stuff. And he was mostly right, but it still did an okay job.
It still did, yeah.
Not like it wasn't bad enough to really like make the point I think he wanted to, which is why I say it was kind of a interesting way to tackle the issue. But regardless, he made some good points.
Yeah, I think with regards to like differentiating between AI and non-AI, I think that's one of the better like examples I've seen of trying to like break it down for a layman, I guess, because it's really hard to in other ways explain how you know something's AI. It just has that sound, it just has that look. Like even convincing AI photos, it's like, well, it looks real, but there's just that thing about it where it's just not quite all the way human.
Well, that's what's so funny about the Velvet Sundown. It's like, if you really wanted to sell this, why would you not just get a bunch of models to pretend to be the band? Because that's what gave it away immediately. It's like you see the artist photos, like that is the most AI generated image I've ever seen. And then even like the description, their Spotify description is AI generated.
And it changed a bunch of times. Like I read this one, it was just like someone screenshotted their bio and posted it on Instagram, and I read through it on Instagram, and then I read through it on Spotify, and it was like completely different. It was like kind of the same universe, but all the wording and the whole thing was just completely different. And I was like, so they're going to be updating bios every day or every other day to see like what gets the most click through, shit that real artists just don't do unless you're like a YouTuber. I know YouTubers do that, but those are like full-time YouTubers who are getting paid. Like, you have to keep in mind, I would say like at least 60 to 70% of the shit on music streaming these days is like fully DIY artists, people who just put shit on streaming services with the hopes that it'll get listened to. It's second, third, fourth jobs for a lot of people. And no one is like, there's very few still professional artists who are like, okay, let's go in and rework our fucking Spotify bio for the fourth time this week. And usually you'll have a team of people that do that for you. But again, this whole AI thing, to me, in my like conspiracy world, seems like it would have been some sort of test where like, you know, an AI firm wants to try putting shit on Spotify, and Spotify wants to know what the reaction is, because again, like, it saves them money in the long run if AI can replace real artists at the end of the day. And it all feels like it was just a test to see, will this work? Is it too soon? Like,
Yeah.
and obviously people discovered the Velvet Sundown was not real pretty much right away. But again, give it a year. Who knows? We'll just be getting blasted by 10 different AI artists all at the same time, and we'll have to do twice as much work to decipher if they're real or not.
Well, let's pivot out of AI because it's depressing to talk about. We have been talking about it a lot lately. But to end on an optimistic note, or, you know, to try to see the bright side or have a shred of optimism, there could very well be an outcome from this where there's a grassroots movement of people protesting against AI music, who make a calculated effort to go back and listen to DIY artists, or, you know, even just real people trying their hardest to make music. And, you know, it could ultimately work in artists' favor. And, you know, we could come out of this in a good way, if you want to be an optimist about it.
I hope so. I mean, I do hope, and I do think there will always be at least a group of people who refuse to let their music and their art be like replaced fully by AI.
Totally.
There's always going to be a
And
a
for
group of
bands
people
like us,
that.
those are the people who are going to be our fans anyways. The people who are going to be tricked by AI music and not care if it's AI or machine, they were never going to be a Kadza fan anyways, because we're not making, you know, mainstream music for people like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely a pretty like good way to look at it, because yes, there will be more competition with AI and stuff coming into the fold and being more prominent, but at the same time, artists will never stop making art because, well, I mean, some might. The ones that are only in it for like money or fame or certain things like that might stop, but the DIY musicians, the ones who are doing it for the love of the game, will never actually be stopped. If Spotify stops paying artists, or if Spotify lowers stream revenue or whatever for real artists against AI, then those artists will find other ways to put their music out, and there'll always be other avenues and options. I think it's just easy to let conspiracy and fear kind of take over in times like this, because I don't know, so many people, even like Rick Beato, he's been saying for so long, give it, you know, a certain amount of time, there's going to be AI bands that are fully trying to integrate with real bands, and now it's happening, and all you can really do is say, well, I fucking told you, and I hope that it doesn't get worse than this. But yeah, I mean, all you can really do is be hopeful at the end of the day. Kadzo's not going to go anywhere. Foreign Words isn't going to go anywhere. Fucking most of the local bands that we love and know very well aren't going to go anywhere. So
Yeah, keep doing our thing. Well, any new music you want to talk about?
nothing new really. I'm still kind of feeling a little bit in a drought for new stuff.
I'm feeling the same way, and I've been traveling for the past week. I've been out of town in the woods, so I've not really been keeping up with new music. But if there's no new music we want to touch on, I can talk about some of the music we were listening to in the woods.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
What was the soundtrack to your honeymoon? Can I call it that? Mini moon?
Mini moon. So yeah,
What's the
back to the
difference?
wedding stuff. Well, this could be we're just spoiled and want to take a lot of vacation to celebrate. This could have been considered a honeymoon. It was an amazing trip. I would have been happy if this was the honeymoon. But it all came together last minute. Julia didn't think she'd really be able to get any time off after the wedding, so we weren't planning anything. But then she got some days off of work and had the 4th of July off anyways. So we're like, oh, well, now we do have time to go out of town. So let's just like go camping. We'll call it the mini moon. We'll, get some rest after the wedding. And then we're going to do the full honeymoon where we actually like travel and spend a little more money later this year.
Okay. So there is a full thing coming.
Yeah, I think we're going to do it in December. But anyways, we went camping in Telluride. We stayed at an Airbnb a couple nights too, but for a chunk of it, we were camping in my minivan in the Sienna.
Oh, yeah.
Which was dope. So on the drive up to Telluride, for people who aren't in Colorado or are not familiar with that, it was about a 7-hour drive. So for that drive, we were listening to the wedding playlist because we never got through all of it, as I mentioned during the wedding, and we just wanted to hear all the songs again.
Who contributed to the wedding playlist?
I did. I contributed probably the least though, because the wedding playlist all kind of came together in the couple of days before the wedding, and everyone helped with setup a lot, but the day the playlist really came together, I was setting up something kind of late. So I didn't have as much time as others to contribute. Everyone else was doing such a bang up job. I don't want to get in the way. I just added some U2 songs pretty much. I added other stuff. But P. Jiggy did, Denise did, Tom did, Joe and Kate. I think so. I think that was it. So yeah, we listened to the wedding playlist. We listened to a bit of an audiobook. We listened to Ready Player One.
Okay.
Do you remember that movie?
I do remember the movie.
Did you ever read the book?
I never knew. I don't think I knew there was a book.
Yeah, it was based on a book. The book's pretty good. It was a fun read or listen.
Fun listen.
Fun listen. And then we were getting close to Telluride, and what's that little town? Like Campion or something?
Oh,
a little
yeah,
town,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about there? And there's just these beautiful rolling green hills. I looked at Julia. I was like, this is what I imagine Ireland looking like. You should play War. So we listened to all of War as we were like getting ready to drive into Ure. That was awesome. I made 100% the right call there. Those songs hit really hard on that drive.
Nice.
During the actual trip, we listened to the music I had downloaded on my iPhone, which it's kind of limited. We listened. So I'm going to mention Beach House. We can't talk about Beach House because we're going to do a future Beach House episode. But Beach House was one of those albums. Listen to TV on the Radio, Return to Cookie Mountain. We listened to that album like 2 or 3 times through, just because I randomly have that one downloaded. Strokes, Is This It? Which, hear me out here, is a great camping summer album.
Why?
I feel like people don't associate that album
I would never
as like a
associate that with camping.
I think Is This It is ideal for camping and for barbecues.
Barbecuing, yeah, sure,
I mean, it's a
maybe.
great-
Camping, I don't know.
I don't know.
My camping playlist.
I have
is
a thing
fun.
where I very rarely like put on The Strokes or Is This It intentionally and just listen to it. But whenever I'm camping, I get a hankering to put on
Maybe
Is
it's
This
because you
It.
have
Maybe
it
it's a
downloaded on
nostalgia
your
thing.
phone.
That's probably it.
You
If
see
I
it
think
and
about
you're
it
like,
deeply
"Oh."
enough. No, but even I forget it's downloaded, and I'm like, oh, what's music I want to listen to? Oh, I know I have The Strokes. I'm gonna look up The Strokes. So The Strokes Is This It hit pretty hard. From the downloads. One moment, let me grab my phone.
I feel like
I'm just
Fleet
looking at my
Foxes
other.
is great.
Oh yeah,
camping
Fleet
music.
Fox. I don't have that one downloaded, but what else do we listen to?
The album Shore, perfect camping music.
Oh, MJ Lenderman.
Oh, nice.
Manning Fireworks.
Okay.
Played that one.
Nice.
And the other, Waxahachie, Tiger's Blood. We listened to Tiger's
wow.
Blood probably like 2 times through. That was a good dinner playlist as we were like making campfire dinners. I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, I have a funny down. Oh, we listened to I Had the Blues, but I.
Oh, that's a really
But I
good
Shook Them
camping
Loose,
album.
Bumpy Bicycle Club.
That's a good driving album too.
Yeah, that is a good driving album. And you know what a great road trip album is too that we listened to? Blue Lines by Massive Attack.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
put that one on.
Dude, what about like fucking like In Rainbows? I love listening to that when I camp.
That's funny. Here's my downloaded list. One of the 11 I have is In Rainbows. But I don't think we listened to any of In Rainbows. That would be a good camping album. I'll do it next time, but we didn't on this trip. I want to shout out American Beauty by Grateful Dead. Our campground in Telluride.
I thought you were going to say by foreign words.
Had
I
did shout out that song earlier.
Thanks, yeah.
I don't have that downloaded, unfortunately.
Of course you don't.
But American Beauty by Grateful Dead, we had this amazing view, like within walking distance of our campsite. There was this like overlook trail, and it looked like dead center at the Coors Mountain, the mountain that is featured on the cans of Coors Light and Coors Bankies. So it's that mountain, and then just like the valley below it was one of the most outstanding views ever. And I think it was the first night we were at the campsite. The wine was flowing, smoking a bit of ganja. I was, not P. Jiggy. And we went to this campsite, and I was just looking through. I was like, oh, Grateful Dead, man, obviously. And we just sat on a stump looking at that view and listened to all of American Beauty. We're like, this is a really good album. So
Julia liked it too?
perfect. She liked it, yeah. She can get into the Dead sometimes.
Does she ever... Like, what do you usually steer the music when you guys are doing stuff, or is it usually like collaborative?
It's pretty collaborative. It's pretty equal.
You ever put something on and she's just like, "Please turn this off"?
Very often. I did that a few times this trip. I have such a random assortment of like albums that are actually downloaded. Most of these I haven't made decisions on downloading. They've just done it automatically.
We've had this, or I guess we didn't have this idea really for a while, but I floated this idea not too long ago of us just doing a full episode where we just talk about bands that we haven't talked about before that we really like. Yeah. Another good episode idea could just be going through our Apple Musics and being like, what the fuck is this? Because if you're going for like recently added, mine makes like no sense.
Here, do you have anything downloaded?
On Apple Music?
On Apple Music.
Yeah. Let's see how do you do that again?
Under that top library list, there should be a downloaded drop down. See if you go to library and then downloaded.
Oh, I feel like that's another one of those buttons I don't have because
weird.
I have to
maybe
go,
you just haven't
add it to my
sections.
Downloaded.
Okay.
Bam.
You got it there. Good.
Okay, so I want to shout out really quick. So I played a show the other night with Summer of Peril.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Summer of Peril, great band. Just filled in for like a one-time thing for them, but we played with this band called Choke Cherry. They're from California. I want to say like LA or San Fran or something like that. But they're really, really fucking good. After we played the show, I had been listening to them for a decent while before we played the show, but after the show, I went back through and did a small deep dive on Choke Cherry. They're really good for anyone who likes kind of grungier, gazier, heavier kind of stuff. They're really solid. But I've been meaning
to look them up.
I have a lot of Choke Cherry in my recents, and then also Beach House because we did, and again we won't talk about it, but we did have a short conversation about Beach House over the weekend, and I've always been obsessed with Teen Dream, so I had to go give Teen Dream another listen. But
okay, here, wait. Let me just rattle off some of my downloaded. I have 2 Outkast albums. I have the latest Pulp album. I have Spinner.
Dude,
Shout
out Spinner. I think that might.
I
looking
downloaded
like it's gonna
that
be my
one
favorite record
intentionally because I want to listen to it on a plane.
That's great plane music.
American Football.
Nice.
The aforementioned Manning Fireworks. Night and Day by Joe Jackson. Viagra Boys, the latest album. Chat Pile. DMX.
Shout out Chat Pile.
Third Eye Blind.
That's
just the first few that come up in my recently downloaded.
All of my recently downloaded. Okay, so let's see here. How to Reassemble an Atomic Bomb. Steal This Album by System of a Down. Octung Baby. Zooropa. And then Phantom Island by King Giz. I've been trying really hard to like that album. Still don't love it. I got Metal by Pink Floyd. And then I've got
Interesting.
Toast by Neil Young and Crazy Horse.
Nice.
Dixie Chicken by Little Feat. Love Heart Cheat Code, Hiatus Coyote. Oh, and Carpe Diem Moon Man by Psychedelic Corn Crumpets.
Okay.
Big shout out to that album, too. That album's fucking great.
I'd say yours is slightly less eclectic than mine. More in the kind of alt rock.
Because when I go
world,
in
but-
wormholes, I go all the way in those wormholes. Like, I stay in them for a while, so.
But we still both have pretty random downloaded albums.
Mm-hmm. I think... I don't know. I probably treat my downloads wrong, but I kind of just download everything that I think that I'm listening. Like, I'm going through the U2 thing right now, so I'm just downloading every U2 album that I listen to. But in reality, I probably don't need them to be in my downloads like forever. But they're probably gonna wind up there forever.
Yeah, my Apple Music just does the weird thing where it just some albums that I add to my library, it's just like, oh, we'll download this one. Very few that I have in my download list are ones that I've like intentionally been like, I'm gonna download this one. Anyways, what else?
Well, we did say we were going to talk about U2.
Yes.
I think we got to do just a small U2 thing here.
Okay, let's close it out on YouTube.
Two final thoughts. The first one being, I don't know if you had time yet, but did you check out the Black Sabbath concert or any of the...
Not all. I've seen a lot of clips from it.
Clips?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think you should go watch the set if you can find it. I found it on YouTube. I hope it's still there. I'll send it to you. But I think we got to have Mr. Tomas back soon to do a Black Sabbath episode that either starts or ends with the Black Sabbath performance that just happened. Because while I went into it expecting to kind of just laugh at it and think that it was just a regular legacy band doing legacy band things, cash grab stuff, it wound up, to me at least, not coming off like that at all. It was a rather beautiful performance, and Ozzy seemed just very genuinely happy to be able to do it one more time, and it seemed like good closure for everyone on the stage. So yeah, I think we should go do a little Black Sabbath wormhole perhaps in the next couple sods if we can get Tomas around. But
and sorry, before we move on to U2, and just speaking of reunion concerts or in this case a farewell concert, I guess, want the listeners to know I'm very much up to date on the Oasis reunion, the shows that have been happening so far. I have watched the entire performance from Cardiff, or listened to it.
What did you think?
And mind blowing.
I
sound
honestly
so good.
Was pretty mind blown.
Yeah,
I was
it's incredible, man.
I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I've listened to bits and pieces of it, and even watched film footage on YouTube, and they seem like they're not half-assing it.
They're not at all. It's amazing. So
I was fully expecting them to just half-ass it.
For this to be a cash grab. I think that's what a lot of people thought. But I'm sure I've mentioned this on the pod, but I'm seeing the show in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl in September. We got tickets to that, me and Julia. So if you're listening to this being like, oh man, the Oasis show's been happening, I'm surprised Colin has been talking about it. I'm saving all that for when I see Oasis in September. Okay.
Okay, so we got to wait a couple months.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I think I do feel pleasantly surprised by the quality of that Cardiff show. And, they seem like... it's hard to tell if they're just doing it on stage to get through shows or whatever, but it does seem like they're in a good place. Like, the Gallagher brothers, seem like they're gonna make it through this little bout of shows just fine.
They're actually acknowledging each other.
They're
walking out
they were embracing
together.
Each other.
Yeah, bowing to each other.
Yeah. No, it did seem like maybe they're gonna be okay. Hopefully. I don't know. I would like to assume that this happens with everybody, where you get to a certain age where you're kind of just like, man, I'm too old for this childish bullshit, and then you just kind of find a way to put it aside and move on and move around it, because I feel like that happens with a lot of the legacy bands, and it's cool. I'm glad that it's not like a cash grab vibe. Okay, so U2. I don't know if you saw this either, but my mom messaged the Cadzo page over the weekend. I handled it because I didn't want her to bother you while you were on your mini moon, but she essentially reached out and said, I've changed my mind on Bono because of the film. She said, I watched the film. I love it. I have no qualms with it. She said there's no mistold stories, no misrepresentations. It's all earnest and it's all honest.
I'm reading your messages now.
And so I said, well, you just have to come on the pod and defend yourself. So.
Wow. Okay, here's what Amy said. Soda alert. I decided to watch Bono's One Act. I fucking loved every second of it. I think it was beautiful, touching, honest, raw, perfect. It made me fall in love with him all over again. It was a masterpiece in my eyes. I think a lot of the things in the movie could be misinterpreted. I don't think that he was taking credit for I Will Follow. I literally think he was just trying to describe the riff in his head. And the lyrics in Beautiful Day he used to describe the relationship with his mom. I'd never heard them in that way before, and now I understand them better. I don't think there should be any reading between the lines with this movie. I think it was beautifully scripted, directed, the music, just fucking everything. Hell yeah, Amy. Right on.
I think we got to have her on.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun to do perhaps a little bit of a Bono, I guess just a Bono storyline from my mom. Because with my mom and Bono, I think there's been a lot of ups and downs throughout my life. She's loved him. She's hated him. She's loved him. She's hated him. She wrote him off basically after everything in 2014 went down. She was like, these guys are fucking dumb. I'm done with them. Bono's just a narcissist. He just likes to hear himself talk. And that's why she didn't want to watch the film, because she's like, well, the film's just going to be more of the same shit. I'm glad that she finally did decide to watch the film. I'm glad she made it through. I'm glad that she had that experience. I would like her to come on and defend herself a little bit, because while I also love the film, I do think there are certain Bono liberties still taken with it that a true U2 fan like my mom should answer for. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah, dude. I'm sorry, I'm just catching up on Amy's messages.
No, it's okay.
Amy, I'm so glad to hear this. We'll definitely have you on the pod. I agree we were maybe a little bit hard on Bono for the I Will Follow.
Yeah.
I'm taking
really just kind of looking for reasons.
Unfortunately, we do have to read between the lines a little bit. I agree with you that we shouldn't pick this movie apart, but we did have to fill an hour-long podcast.
Yeah,
with material.
had to find some things to make fun of. I do think at the end of the day, while he probably doesn't think that he's lying about it, maybe Edge's story would still be a bit different or whatever.
Different.
But there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's why Bono makes the joke of, if any of the other dudes write their memoirs, I'm fucked.
Yeah. Okay. Well, was there any other U2?
No, not really. Just
I'm
they're
still
great.
I'm still on Zooropa.
I've been listening to a lot of pop.
Oxygen Baby.
A lot of pop and a lot of
We're
How to
both
Dismantle.
firmly in the 90s.
Well,
Right,
I've been listening to a lot of
2000s,
Dismantle
yeah.
also. I think, I know I've said this a lot lately. I'll say it again. How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb is my favorite era of U2 forever. Like, they're all in their peak coolness. The shows are the best. The songs are the most fresh. There's the most like variance between new shit and old shit, I feel like. Because afterwards, when they start doing like the U2 360 thing, that's all just them kind of doing like older songs and trying to be like, well, let's play some deep cuts and shit that people don't actually really care about. But there's something about the Vertigo shows where they're just so magical, and I've been just watching a lot of those and listening to a lot of that. But then, you know, I started watching some Pop Mart shows too, because there's a bunch of them on YouTube. I think Pop Mart gets a really bad rap for the production quality, and their performance on a lot of the live shit is just like so like that. I watched them play Mofo. I think it was like the first time I'd ever heard Mofo live, or like seen it and heard it at the same time. It's fucking badass, brother. Like, it's so cool.
I went down that rabbit hole a while ago of watching a bunch of the Pop Mart performances. I'm like, I would have killed to be.
I would have murdered to be there. Yeah.
They were great. Yeah, it was just U2 had been on such an ascension for such a long time at that point that, you know,
Can only
audiences
go down from
couldn't
there.
give it to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pop, you know, was a vulnerable album, and it was the right album for people to pick apart for that moment in time, because it was, you know, U2's natural time to have a little bit of an ebb. But now I'm glad we have the context that we can all look back on the Pop Mart tour and say that was a true masterpiece.
And the record itself, too. Like, I still think that record doesn't get enough.
I've been meaning to go back and give Pop a full listen through.
The songs on it that are good are, like, so good, and they sound just like U2 songs. Like, yeah. There's not really that much of the actual overbearing
I'm queuing that up for
poppy
my drive
bullshit on that record. It's oh man, I fucking love it. I think like the Pitchfork publication sometimes will do a thing where they go back and re-review an album that they like looked back on harshly or whatever, and they'll like change their score and be like, this album's actually pretty good. They should do that with Pop. I don't know what their original rating of Pop is.
I'll look it up right now. I'm curious.
Or maybe they've already done that. I hope that someone out there at some point in the future goes back and like reevaluates Pop and bumps it up a little bit, because it's better than No Line on the Horizon.
Wow.
Do they
Guess
like
what
it?
Pitchfork gave Pop?
Like an 8?
8.
Oh!
Exactly. Yeah.
See, I guess I should have expected that, because they always rate the albums highly that people hate.
Yeah, that people hate. 'Cause they have to.
They have to be devil's advocates.
Yeah. Okay. Shouts out
That's
Pitchfork.
a good way to end that.
Well, no. Finally, Pitchfork has done something right.
I can finally agree with them on something.
This has been another episode of Podcadzo, another installment in our hugely successful music podcast. We thank everyone for listening. We'll see you next week.
See you next Tuesday.
Goodbye. See you next Tuesday.